live in interesting times. On tonight's headlines. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, on behalf of the Government of Canada, greeted the Iglesia ni Cristo on its 104th anniversary and 50th year in the West. President Vladimir Putin said he is ready to travel to the U.S. under the right conditions and has invited President Trump to Moscow for a second meeting. Forest fires, barbecue bans, heat wave scorches Europe. And Edmonton's high-level bridge is lit in green, white, and red to commemorate the INC's 104th year anniversary. I'm Alma Angeles, wherever you're watching from around the world. Thank you for joining us tonight. And now to the news. The Iglesia ni Cristo celebrates its 104th anniversary on July 27, 2018, which also marks the 50th year of its foreign mission. The highlights of celebrations worldwide was the dedication of a new house of worship in Eva Beach in Hawaii, officiated by Executive Minister Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. The dedication of the 810-seater house of worship in Eva Beach is particularly significant as this was where the first local congregation of the Iglesia ni Cristo outside of the Philippines was established 50 years ago, particularly on July 27, 1968. The Iglesia ni Cristo Church of Christ is a global church with over 6,000 congregations worldwide. Find out how this church continues to grow. This report from Leander Denver Garcia.
Registered with the Philippine government on July 27, 1914, the Iglesia ni Cristo Church of Christ was first administered by Brother Felix Y. Manalo. From its pioneering years in Manila, the church quickly spread throughout this archipelago in the Far East. When its first executive minister was laid to rest in April 1963, the church already had established ecclesiastical districts in more than half of all provinces in the country. In 1968, the Church of Christ, then led by its second executive minister, Brother Ryan G. Manalo, successively established the first two local congregations in the United States of America, in Honolulu, Hawaii, and in San Francisco, California. This began the church expansion in the far west and the rest of the world. Thus today, the Church of Christ celebrates its 104th founding anniversary in the Philippines and 50th year of establishment in the West. Before the end of the 70s, the church went on to spread throughout the continents of North America, establishing local congregations and group worship services in other states and territories, such as New York and Guam in 1969, and Canada in 1971. In Europe, the first local congregation was established in London, now Battersea, in 1972. Australia in mid-70s. In Asia, the Iglesia ni Cristo congregations were established in China by way of Hong Kong in 1974, Thailand in 1976, and Japan in 1977, and Africa, Nigeria and South Africa in 1978. By the end of the 80s, there were local congregations and group worship services in the Scandinavian countries and other neighbors. The first local congregation in Latin America was established in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba in 1990. Congregations were also established in world cities that are of great relevance to the history of Christianity. Rome, Italy on July 27, 1994, Jerusalem, Israel on March 31, 1996, and Athens, Greece on May 10, 1997. At the dawn of the new millennium, the church mission reached South Africa with the establishment of group worship services in Brazil and Peru. Before Brother Iranio Manalo was laid to rest on August 31, 2009, the church had been spreading continuously in different parts of the world. And today, through the leadership of its present executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, the church continues to progress and succeed. Its membership has been constantly increasing and spread to more countries such as in the continent of Africa and in India. The Church of Christ today has an international membership comprising more than 130 nationalities. It maintains more than 7,000 congregations and missions grouped into 142 ecclesiastical districts in over 143 countries and territories in all the inhabited continents of the world. Thousands of ministers and church officers are being added worldwide. The construction and renovation of houses of worship, church edifice, and other structures also continue, not only in the Philippines but also in other countries. The houses of worship in Washington, D.C., Barcelona, Spain, and Amsterdam, the Netherlands, are just a few of those outside the Philippines that were dedicated to God in recent years, thus strengthening the church presence in other countries worldwide. On July 21, 2014, the Iglesia ni Cristo inaugurated the Philippine Arena, currently the world's largest mixed-use indoor theater. This mega structure that sits in Ciudad de Victoria, Bocaue, Bulacan, was the venue of the church Centennial celebration held on July 27, 2014, which was attended by millions of its members from all over the world. Concerned with the welfare not only of its members but also of society in general, the Church of Christ initiates programs that promote its Christian values in its various fields of endeavor. Through its Christian family organizations, the Church of Christ conducts seminars, get-togethers, and other activities that uphold the biblical ideals on marriage, parenting, and family relationships. Promoting good health and clean living, the Church of Christ mounts free medical dental missions, blood donation drives, health seminars, and other related campaigns. Its New Era General Hospital not only caters to the concerns mostly of its ministers and members, but also helps in mobilizing volunteers for the church medical missions. The Church of Christ support on education has given rise to the establishment of the New Era University. And through the Iglesia ni Cristo School for Ministers, the church administration trains men to help in overseeing and in propagating God's words for man's salvation. Recognizing the value of sports not only for personal development but also for building up team spirit and unity, the church constantly holds sports activities under the banner of Unity Games. The Church of Christ Aid to Humanity program has benefited multitudes of people in need, from calamity victims to indigents and indigenous peoples. This outreach program was started by Brother Iranio Manalo, and it is now being intensified by Brother Eduardo Manalo in the implementation of international aid to humanity. Through its implementing arm, the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation, the church gives assistance to the needy in all parts of the world. The Church of Christ establishes resettlement communities consisting of housing units, livelihood sites, and houses of worship. Recently established are those in Sitio Alang-Alang, Leyte, Philippines, for the displaced survivors of Typhoon Haiyan, in Paracale, Camarines Norte, for the Kabihog tribe, and in Barangay Danlag, Tampakan, South Cotabato, for the Blaan indigenous people. Another eco farm was also established in Ladybrand, South Africa, as part of the Iglesia ni Cristo program to fight poverty. In view of these tremendous victories of the Church of Christ, Robert Reed wrote in his book, Pattern of Migrations in Southeast Asia, that the Iglesia ni Cristo has been transformed into the most dynamic and powerful indigenous belief system in the Philippines. Growing at a phenomenal rate, this upstart community of faith we have been recently surpassed Islam as the nation's second largest religion. Indeed, the INC may be the most successful form of indigenous Christianity emanating from the Third World in this century. For the members of the Iglesia ni Cristo, they recognize and firmly believe that these victories of the Church is a fulfillment of God's promise written in Isaiah 41:20 that says, that they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord has done this, and the Holy One of Israel has created it. For the Iglesia ni Cristo Anniversary Special Report, I am Leander Denver Garcia. I am one with 25.
All right, let's head on over to Texas, where our EBC correspondent MJ Maranan talks to an Iglesia ni Cristo minister and tells us how they're celebrating there in their part of the world. Take a look.
Hello from Fort Worth, Texas. I'm your EBC correspondent, MJ Maranan, here at the Will Rogers Auditorium, where the Church of Christ, or Iglesia ni Cristo in Tagalog, is celebrating their 50th in the West. Now here I have John Bustos, who is one of the attendees here. Hi, John.
Hi, MJ.
So what is the event that you are celebrating here today?
Well, we conducted the celebration of the 104th anniversary of the Church of Christ and also the 50th year anniversary of the Church of Christ here in the western part of the globe.
To you, in your own words, what was your experience today?
Oh, it was a very spiritual feeling that each one of us got today. We were able to hear the message preached by our executive minister, which all the more paved our way closer to salvation. And also we were able to see our fellow brethren and the various congregations here in this district.
So activities like this, this one held today, what do you think will happen maybe the next 75th anniversary? Do you think it's going to be as big or as special?
Well, you know, speaking as a minister inside the Church of Christ, every year that passes, not only in our life, but even when it comes to the church in general, we believe that all the more it will be a more uplifting, all the more a blessed experience for the entire church, because every year we see the church always giving the church all the more success in all fields of endeavor, like propagation, edification, and in like today, the chapel dedication. And what we could see is that all the more the church will flourish throughout the next years.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bustos, for your time and your answers.
You're very welcome.
Once again, I am your EBC correspondent, MJ Moran, reporting live from Fort Worth, Texas. I am one with 25. Now back to the studio.
Meanwhile, our EBC correspondent in Texas, MJ Maranan, also got to talk to some of the people there waiting for the celebrations to start. Take a look.
Hi everyone, we're back at the Will Rogers Stadium here in Fort Worth, Texas, where the 50th anniversary is about to begin. So right now the crowd is going pretty exciting for the performances here. And sir, hi,
Yes.
what's your name?
Brother Randy Parker.
So, Mr. Randy Parker, what's your outtake on the performances today? Are you excited?
Oh yes, been waiting for this for a long time. Thoroughly enjoyed the whole show. The service also, the sermon, it was wonderful.
So obviously you were very excited about this. What other things are making you excited about the celebration that you are partaking in?
Well, one thing, the fellowship, getting all the brethren together, seeing old friends that haven't seen for a while. It's always good to get together and to show our strength.
All right, thank you so much, Mr.
All
Parker,
right.
for your time and questions. Hi, sir.
Hello.
So, what's your outtake on the celebrations here taking place at the Will Rogers Auditorium?
Well, I think it's all really nice here that all the brethren from different locales can all come together and celebrate the 50 years in the West, and especially the 104th anniversary of the Church of Christ.
I'm sure you're very excited. What makes you excited about this event right now?
Well, seeing how we all prepare and we get to see all worship in this nice place, it shows how the church has all progressed throughout the world.
So basically the unity that is shown by your church.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time and answers. So, once again, I am your EBC correspondent, MJ Moranen, and I'm 1 with 25. Back to the studios.
Thank you, MJ. Meanwhile, let's head on to Sydney with our EBC correspondent, Rhea David. Rhea?
Thank you. Currently, we are here in Whitlam Leisure Centre, where the members of the Church of Christ have just observed a special worship service that was conducted by their Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Milano. Currently, the members are now observing a musical with the theme of the 50-year anniversary of the Church in the West, describing the humble beginnings of the Church in Hawaii.
So my role in the production was I was a lead singer. I sang in Purified Like Gold and in Onwards into So Must Work.
And describe your preparations towards the event today.
Preparation, I guess, it was really fun. I guess like the funnest part about the preparation was the actual preparation. They say it's like the journey it's not the destination. So yeah, it was really fun practicing. It was just, if it was one word, it would be really fun. Yeah.
And how do you feel being a part of a production like this that's being performed internationally?
It's unbelievable. It's West 50. It's 50 years in the West, and it's an honor and a privilege to be a lead singer at the West 50 in Australia, in Sydney, Australia. So it doesn't get any better than that.
Well, yeah, and a choir member too. Okay, so the sisters and brothers with me, they were in the chorale and they were in the choir, and I was very blessed to conduct the orchestra and the musical presentation.
What's your feeling right now, having experienced not only the special worship service, but the whole West 50 production?
Well, I would like to think that all of us are really excited, filled with the Holy Spirit. You know, we're very joyful, very blessed to have been a part of this production and this whole event.
How was it, like, spending the last few weeks and months just preparing for the production?
Well, the last few weeks and few months has been quite intense with, you know, getting everybody to practice their parts at home. Were you guys also found it a lot of challenges when you were trying to learn the music? Yeah, and so there was a lot of challenges, but with the help of our Lord God, you know, everybody sounded great, and you know, we really felt the Holy Spirit today.
Is there any message or anything you'd like to say, not only to the brethren, but even to the non-brethren around the world?
Well, to all of the brethren all around the world, happy 104th anniversary, 100 happy 50 years in the West. Hope everybody is well and safe. And even to our guests, our visitors, our friends, well, everybody, you know, we also wish you, you know, to stay safe and, you know, come join us in, you know, our other future events. Happy anniversary, guys.
From Sydney, Australia, reporting for the special coverage of the Iglesia Ni Cristo 50 years celebration in the West, I'm Rhea May David, and I'm 1 with 25.
Thank you, Rhea David. EBC International Bureaus cover the Iglesia Ni Cristo's 104 years celebrations worldwide. Take a look. In Washington, D.C., take a look. This. In Florida, New York, Las Vegas, California, and other states in the U.S. Also in Canada.
But to Paulus, he is the liaison between this
Toronto, Vancouver, Australia, and other parts of Asia, plus South Africa.
Tell us your name and tell us what you're doing today and how you feel. Organization, getting everything prepared. How you've been prepared.
Now, Iglesia ni Cristo's expansion in the West started in Hawaii in 1968. The first Iglesia ni Cristo chapel outside the Philippines was built in Hawaii. Malu Francisco is in Hawaii to give us a glimpse of the place. Take a look.
Aloha! Welcome to Hawaii. Aloha is a Hawaiian word which means hello, welcome, and goodbye. Or, I love you, I like you. Hawaii is the 50th state of the United States of America, but it was granted statehood in August 1959. It is also the world's largest island chain. While in Hawaii, you'll see people doing this. It's called shaka, and it means, don't worry, relax, everything will be okay. There you are, aloha, shaka, and the third Hawaiian word is for thank you, mahalo. Again, aloha, shaka, mahalo.
Hawaii is made up of 100 plus islands, 8 main islands, and only 7 are inhabited. One of the islands is called Hawaii, also known as the Big Island. The capital Honolulu is found on the island of Oahu. Jess Guillermo is of Filipino descent who's lived in Hawaii for 49 years. He came here when he was only 9 years old.
And Oahu, the word Oahu actually means the gathering place. So for some, that's very significant, especially here in the West.
About 37% of today's population of Hawaii are of Asian ancestry, which include the Chinese, Japanese, Filipinos, Koreans, and they're mixed with people of European background. Hawaii is known for its beautiful beaches. Among the famous one is the Waikiki Beach, found on the island of Oahu. Looking for family hiking adventure? The Diamond Head offers a rewarding hike for the whole family, young and old alike. And once you're on the top, enjoy the views of Honolulu and the Pacific Ocean. Start a new day in Hawaii by watching the beautiful sunrise from the Makapu'u lookout against the deep blue sea below. Experience a memorable moment with nature. Well, you might want to hop onto another island where you can find some rare species of trees and plants, in addition to other breathtaking views of Hawaii. Still looking for a real Hawaiian experience? Our friend Jess tells us about the theme park on the north shore of Oahu.
A real Hawaiian experience. The best way to do that, I think, in one day is a luau. There is one on the north shore, and you could experience the whole Polynesia in one day, including riding on canoes and visiting these Polynesian villages that are, I would say, replicas of typical Polynesian villages. And to cap it off, at night there is the luau with a complete 2-hour show, which is, I believe, the standard. Once you watch that and you go through that luau, I don't think you will ever look at a luau the same way ever again.
Well, hope you've enjoyed our glimpse of Hawaii, as I've always enjoyed coming here to hang loose, or shaka. Right here in Honolulu, Malu Francisco for Eagle News, saying mahalo, or thank you, and I am 1 with 25.
Mahalo, Malu. Now, here are more greetings from U.S. officials who recognize the efforts and outreach programs of the Church of Christ in their areas. Let's listen in.
Mabuhay. This is Lily May, Fremont's mayor in California. I wanted to wish Iglesia Ni Cristo a happy 104th anniversary, and especially for our Fremont congregation members there today, a special 50th anniversary congratulations. We really wanted to share our best wishes to Brother Eduardo Manolo as he leads Iglesia Ni Cristo in serving over 134 countries worldwide. From the beginning in serving the first ceremony and worship in 1968 in Hawaii, till your outreach in the Midwest in Chicago in 1971, to using technology today in reaching out to your congregation members in 1994 with your first international video worship. We appreciate all the work that you're doing in the communities and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Congratulations.
I would like to greet all the members of the Iglesia Ni Cristo from all over the world on your 104th year anniversary. Also, happy 50th in the West, especially to all those registered in the city of Alameda, District of Northwest California. Congratulations and greetings to your executive minister brother, Eduardo V. Manalo. Mabuhay. This is Trish Herrera Spencer, Mayor of the City of Alameda, California, United States of America.
Mayor Libby Schaaf, sending my greetings to members of the Iglesia Ni Cristo from all over the world on your 104th year anniversary. Also, happy 50th anniversary in the West, especially to all those registered in the city of Oakland and Northern California. Congratulations and greetings to your executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Mabuhay.
Hello, my name is Ian Bain. I'm the mayor of Redwood City, California. I'd like to congratulate all the members of Iglesia Ni Cristo on your 104th anniversary, and to those of you in the West, happy 50th, including those in Redwood City. I'd like to extend my best wishes to Executive Minister Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Mabuhay.
Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, on behalf of the Government of Canada, greeted the Iglesia Ni Cristo, or Church of Christ, on its 104th anniversary and 50th year in the West. Take a look. In a letter, Trudeau also extended his warmest greetings to everyone celebrating the 45th anniversary of the Iglesia Ni Cristo in Canada. He said for 45 years, the Iglesia Ni Cristo, or Church of Christ, has brought together Canadians who are committed to upholding Christian ideals of faith and service. He said this occasion, which also marks the Church's 50th anniversary in the Western Hemisphere and 104 years since it was founded, offers everyone a chance to reaffirm their deeply held spiritual beliefs and to reflect upon the events that have shaped, quote, your church's history. On behalf of the Government of Canada, I offer my best wishes for a memorable celebration. All right, to the United Kingdom now. The Iglesia Ni Cristo purchased another chapel in Newcastle. Our EBC correspondent Grace Rivera reports.
Here in the northeast part of United Kingdom, another redundant church building has been purchased and sold to the Iglesia Ni Cristo. Because of the rising demand for houses of worship, the INC has been noted to purchase many different chapel buildings in countries all over in order to accommodate the church's rapid increase in their members.
Today is the ceremonial turnover of this property from its former owners to its new owner, which is the Iglesia Ni Cristo, or Church of Christ.
It was originally a Methodist church, founded in the early 1900s, and as you know, in Britain a lot of people don't go to church anymore, so we've shrunk to a rather smaller number, and we now meet in a community centre, which is why the church building is redundant, and we're happy to pass it on to you because it's still going to be used as a Christian place of worship.
The brethren in our district here in the United Kingdom and especially the brethren here in the congregation of Sunderland are very happy. We are truly thankful to the Lord God. We are very excited, and we look forward to that day when this place of worship will be dedicated to the Lord God.
Wish for you, and my hope is that God will bless you as a church and that you'll grow and prosper. And I know from talking to some of you over the last year that it's taken to go through the legal process that you've looked for a church for 10 years or more, and it's just a pleasure to be able to pass the building on to you, and I hope you find it as nice at home.
Just like what our executive minister always mentions, whenever success or victory is granted by God to the church, we render all the praises and glory to the Almighty God.
The small town of North Shields are happy to embrace the new project build, as it hopes to help diversify and revive the spirit of the local community. Reporting for Eagle News, United Kingdom, I am Grace Rivera and I'm 1 with 25.
Thank you, Grace Rivera from our United Kingdom Bureau. Eagle News International will be right back. Stay tuned.
Health is our most
News, this is Cesar Vallejos. The Philippine economy is expected to continue growing strongly this year and over the medium term, but faces rising near-term risks, especially from rising domestic prices and uncertainties in the external environment, the International Monetary Fund warned yesterday. To address this, the 189-nation multilateral agency urged the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas to take decisive action against inflation, which at 5.2% in June was the fastest pace of price increases in at least 5 years and was expected to peak by the fourth quarter. In his statement, IMF Mission Chief Louis Brewer said that supporting growth while safeguarding macroeconomic stability would require further tightening of monetary policy to anchor inflation expectations, conditional on domestic and external developments. The agency said inflation was caused by rising international oil prices, external pressures on the peso, on-off effects of higher excise taxes, and domestic demand pressures. The IMF predicted that the country's current account deficit will rise to 1.5% of GDP by year-end, reflecting increased imports of capital goods and raw materials. RFM Corporation, the food and beverage firm led by the Concepcion Group, said it is merging 3 of its units into the company as it tries to achieve economies of scale. The company said in its disclosure that it is merging Commissary Corporation and Invest Asia Corp with RFM as the surviving entity. The integration of the administrative facilities of the 4 corporations will result in economies of scale and efficiency of operations, the company said, adding that the consolidation of the assets will allow the procurement of financing and credit facilities under more favorable terms. The company said the merger will be subject to the approval of RFM's special stockholders meeting called for the purpose scheduled on September 7, 2018. South Korea continued to be the top source of tourists for the Philippines, sending 815,683 of its citizens from January to June 2018. This developed as visitor arrivals in the first half of 2018 reached an all-time high of some 3.71 million, a 10.4% increase from the same period last year, according to the Department of Tourism. Other reports show South Korean market accounted for a 22% share of total arrivals. The growth in South Korean visitor arrivals were a mere 2.6% in the first half of the year compared to the 16% increase recorded in January to June 2017. The sluggishness of the South Korean market, though, was overcome by the arrivals from China, which recorded a 42% jump to 645,889 tourists in the first 6 months of the year. The market accounted for a 17.4% share in total arrivals and was ranked second among the top source markets for tourists for the Philippines. Chinese tourists ate up 1 percentage point in South Korean tourists' market share this year as they beat their 33.4% jump in arrivals in the same period in 2017. Beijing had lifted a travel ban to the Philippines after President Duterte's visit in 2016. It also promised to send 1 million tourists to the Philippines every year. In the third spot was the United States, Japan at 316,060, and Australia. Only a tenth of small businesses use online payments for their operations, as additional costs and safety concerns prevent them from embracing the platform. A recent survey funded by the United States Agency for International Development showed that only 1 in 10 micro and small enterprises are using e-payments. This is a far cry compared to the over 93% usage rate among medium and large corporations and 90% for state-run firms. The study, conducted from December 2017 to February 2018, found that while there is substantial awareness among these small players, only 10% of micro firms reported to using online payment platforms over the past year. Among small-scale firms, the usage rate clocked in at 26%. What's more, only 11% of customers of micro-sized business ventures reported to being open to e-payments. Instead, clients largely prefer cash transactions. Businesses, especially small and micro, primarily transact with traditional instruments, according to the USAID's e-peso institutional payments baseline survey report released yesterday. For micro and small businesses, increasing ATM usage would be the low-hanging fruit, and for the medium, large, and GOCCs, it would be increasingly digital channels via mobile or computer. Seoul announced a plan to criminalize harassment in the workplace harassment. If the legislation passes, those who harass others at work will be subject to up to 3 years in prison or a fine of up to 30 million won. Our EBC correspondent in South Korea, Charmaine Antazo, reports from Seoul.
Seoul announced its plan to criminalize workplace harassment on Wednesday, saying that approximately 70% of all Korean employees have experienced bullying from their work colleagues and superiors at least once in their lives. According to Lee Nak-yeon, Prime Minister of the National Human Rights Commission, many Korean workers suffer from workplace harassment, and about 60% of these victims have never taken action out of fear of the repercussions. He also mentioned that 12% of all Korean workers face harassment daily. The Ministry of Labor stressed that harassment in the workplace is one of the causes of severe anxiety, depression, and suicide among many Koreans. Such harassment includes being belittled and discredited by superiors, excessive demands that are impossible to meet, work assigned outside of working hours, and on the part of female workers, performing sexually suggestive dances for their male superiors. The Ministry of Labor stated that the initial proposal for a revision in the Labor Standards Act will be completed in October. If the legislation passes, those who commit workplace harassment will be subject to up to 3 years in prison or a fine of up to $26,509. In addition, the Workplace Harassment Prevention Learning Program will be mandatory for all employers and employees, and companies that do not comply will be fined up to $4,420. Workplace harassment will be legally recognized as an industrial accident, and as such, victims will be able to sue for compensation if such actions affect their health. This is Charmaine Antazo, EBC correspondent from South Korea, and I am 1 with 25.
In commemoration of the 104 years of the Iglesia Ni Cristo and in celebration of its 50th year in the West, the Philippine business communities in the United States sent their greetings to the church. Don Orozco reports.
Greetings and congratulations to all the members of the Iglesia Ni Cristo on your 104th anniversary. I also extend my greetings for INC's 50th in the West celebration this July 27, which will be held in Hawaii, USA. Congratulations to the progressive leadership of your Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo Manalo. The INC has always been and will always be a great partner of the business community. Mabuhay ang INC. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
On behalf of the Confederation of Employers of the Philippines, I would like to extend the warmest greetings and congratulations to the Iglesia Ni Cristo on its 104th anniversary.
I would like to take this opportunity to greet the INC community all over the world
for the 104th anniversary and of course especially to the USIC for the happy 40th anniversary. And most of all, our greetings goes to our most honorable and pinakamahal natin President Edward. Mabuhay po ang INC, mabuhay po ang Pilipinas.
I would like to congratulate the Iglesia ni Cristo on their 104th founding anniversary. Also, happy 50th golden anniversary to all the members in the United States. And knowing that celebrations are underway all around. Mabuhay ang INC, mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Congratulations and happy 104th anniversary to the Iglesia ni Cristo, especially to our dynamic leader, Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo Manalo. I'm also extending my very best wishes to all the members of the INC residing in the United States of America on the occasion of their 50th anniversary. We in the business community, particularly the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Philippine Exporters Confederation, are looking forward to work with you for the betterment of our kababayans. Mabuhay ang INC, mabuhay ang Ka-Eduardo.
This is Don Orozco for Silicon Valley Bureau, and I am 1-25.
Also greeting the Church of Christ is a flag carrier President Jaime Bautista.
Mula sa pamunuan at mga manggagawa ng Philippine Airlines, kami ay buong pusong bumabati ng maligayang ika-104 na taong anibersaryo ng Iglesia ni Cristo at ika-50 anibersaryo sa pagsapit ng misyon sa kanlurang Estados Unidos. Panalangin namin na patuloy na magtagumpay ang kapatiran at pagkakaisa ng lahat ng kaanib ng Iglesia ni Cristo sa buong mundo sa pamumuno ni kapatid Eduardo V. Manalo. Ang Philippine Airlines po ay laging handang maglingkod sa inyo saan mang sulok ng mundo kayo naroroon. Muli, maligayang anibersaryo po sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay!
That's it for Business News. This is Cesar Vallejos. I am 1-25. Eagle News International will be right back. Stick with us.
Health is
Welcome to the garden. A world that recaptures the value of life, creating your moments, kindling your passion, worth reliving over and over. This is your world, your life, your garden.
Health is a
Welcome back. U.S. President Donald Trump is open to traveling to Moscow after a surprise invite from Russian President Vladimir Putin, according to the White House. President Putin said on Friday he's ready to travel to the U.S. under the right conditions and has invited President Trump to Moscow for a second meeting. Take a look.
У него есть желание проводить дальнейшие встречи, и я готов к этому. Но нужно, чтобы были условия соответствующие, чтобы они создавались, эти условия, в том числе и в наших странах. Мы готовы к таким встречам. Мы готовы пригласить президента Трампа и в Москву. Пожалуйста, он имеет, кстати говоря, такое приглашение. Я ему об этом говорил. Я готов в Вашингтон приехать.
Now, both leaders have called the Helsinki meeting successful, and President Putin rounded on U.S. summit critics earlier this month for wanting to sacrifice the U.S.-Russia relationship over narrow party interests. President Trump, meanwhile, drew ire at the meeting when he contradicted U.S. intelligence agencies by backing away from blaming Russia for meddling in the 2016 election. He later said he had misspoken at the summit. Last week, President Trump had suggested that President Putin should visit Washington this autumn. On Wednesday, National Security Advisor John Bolton said that the president instead believes that the next bilateral meeting with President Putin should take place after the Russia witch hunt is over, referring to U.S. Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into allegations of Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election and whether there was collusion among the Trump campaign team. Both Mr. Putin and Mr. Trump denied the allegations.
We do have interests that are common. We are
A second firefighter has died battling a fast-moving Northern California wildfire that has forced residents to flee, according to an official. CAL FIRE had announced hours earlier the death of the bulldozer driver. The car fire outside Redding swept across a river late Thursday and then engulfed the western part of the city of 90,000 people. Scott McLean, a spokesman for the department, said law enforcement colleagues were doing evacuations as fast as they can because the fire was moving so fast. 65 structures have been reduced to ashes by the blaze, which has destroyed more than 44,000 acres and is only 3% contained, according to its website. Another firefighter died several days ago in a separate blaze. The Fernando fire, which has encroached upon the Yosemite National Park in Central California, the most populous U.S. state. Last Last year was the worst on record for wildfire devastation in California, with more than 40 deaths and around 9,000 structures destroyed following fires that ravaged the Napa and Sonoma wine regions. Meanwhile, rising temperatures in the French capital caused ozone pollution levels to rise as high-emission vehicles are denied entry into the French capital and its outskirts until Wednesday this week. France's ongoing heat wave broke weather records on Thursday night, and the country continued to roast on Friday with some areas on alert for heat waves and/or storms. It was difficult to get a proper night's sleep for most people in France on Thursday night. After a sizzling day, temperatures didn't drop significantly once the sun had gone down, with the mercury in Paris at 24.6 Celsius even at 5 a.m. According to weather experts, the last time it was this hot in the French capital was 1976. Meanwhile, survivors of the wildfire in the Greek town of Mati criticized the preparation and response of authorities following suggestions from Deputy Citizen Protection Minister Nikos Toskas that there are, quote, serious signs that the worst of the fires, which killed scores this week east of Athens, was the result of arson. Take a look.
Έπρεπε να έχουν πάρει μέτρα οι κατά καιρούς κυβερνήσεις, γιατί εδώ τα σπίτια άρχισαν να χτίζονται από το 1952. Δεν ήταν δηλαδή τελευταία να πούμε δεν προλάβαμε, δεν είδαμε.
50 μέρες και δεν έχουν κατηγορία. Θα του λέγατε γύρνα πίσω. Εδώ είναι...
Θα έπρεπε από τις 5 η ώρα ή από τις 5:30 να έχει περάσει ένα ελικόπτερο να με ντουντούκα και να μας πει ότι πηγαίνετε όλοι χωρίς τα αυτοκίνητά σας στη θάλασσα. Όλος ο κόσμος σιγά σιγά χωρίς τα αυτοκίνητα να πάει στη θάλασσα.
Meanwhile, Germany sweltered in near-record temperatures forecast to reach as high as 39 degrees Celsius or 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Firefighters were battling wildfires near Fichtenwalde, southwest of Berlin, and in northern Saxony-Anhalt. The rapeseed harvest is a thin one this summer. The crop is hugely reduced. Losses on sales of wheat, rye, and maize are also running as high as 50%. Officials in Hamburg canceled the annual fireworks due to fears the dry ground could catch fire. Meanwhile, Swedish authorities said 17 forest fires were still burning in the country after others were put out this week. The country sweltered in its highest temperatures this year, 34.6 degrees Celsius in some southern regions. Neighboring Finland said it would send 35 firefighters to Sweden, joining teams from other EU countries. Rain is forecast for the weekend, but citizens are still banned from lighting barbecues or fires. Train service between Britain and France was hit by the heat wave on Friday, with passengers warned to expect delays and problems with the air conditioning. The Channel Tunnel runs for 50 kilometers between Kent in southeast England and northern France, opened in 1994. It is the world's longest uninterrupted undersea link. The hottest temperatures of the year in Britain were recorded on Thursday. The mercury hit 35.1 degrees Celsius in Wisley on the southwest edge of London. On Thursday, Eurotunnel delays hit 4 to 5 hours. Meanwhile, a team from Thailand saved a toddler during a rescue operation in Laos after an unprecedented accident involving a dam collapse, which unleashed heavy flooding over several villages. Take a look.
นี่นะครับน้ำลึกประมาณนี้ไม่เป็นไรแล้วลูกไม่เป็นไรแล้วครับไม่เป็นไรแล้วครับแล้วก็ทุกคนปลอดภัยแล้วนะครับเดี๋ยวก็มาถึงฝั่งแล้วครับ
มีแต่ว่าคนแต่ละคนอยู่ประจำบ้าน
ครับมีวิธีครับก็พยายามให้ทำงานกันครับ
Meanwhile, commenting on several other extreme weather events around the world, Claire Nullis, spokesperson for the World Meteorological Organization, noted that in Japan, flash floods across the country had claimed at least 150 lives, according to authorities. The situation is significant given Japan's high level of preparedness against natural catastrophes, according to the WMO spokesperson, noting that around 10,000 houses have been inundated or destroyed by the worst flooding in decades. Take a look.
Japan is one of the best prepared countries in the world when it comes to disaster risk reduction, disaster response. They are supremely well prepared. And so the magnitude of the casualties of the destruction that we're seeing now really is an indication of just how big and how extreme this was and how heavy the rainfall was in such a short period of time.
Now, the west coast of the United States is also in the grip of high-impact weather systems. Ms. Nullis continued noting record temperatures in downtown Los Angeles.
Los Angeles area just set a whole new string of temperature records last week. Just some examples. 48.9 degrees C, which is 120 degrees Fahrenheit in Chino, which is a suburb of Los Angeles, 47.8 degrees C in San Bernardino.
Turning to Europe, the WMO spokesperson told journalists that the agency's Regional Climate Center on Climate Monitoring, located in Germany, had predicted a continuation of the drought situation and above normal temperatures of between 3 degrees and 6 degrees Celsius above average.
In Baltic states, in Scandinavia, they've been issuing, almost daily warnings about forest fires, which is very, very unusual. And it's unusual that it should start so early in the year. Some parts of Northern Europe had their driest June on record. In Southern Europe, it's the opposite.
Iglesia Ni Cristo members in central London, United Kingdom, donated over 1,270 different food items to an Islington food bank. Take a look. A volunteer of the Islington food bank came and gave a talk about why it was so important. She gave a heartwarming speech about those in need. Now, during the summer months, food bank supplies are low, so this was very much appreciated. She was impressed about how many things the Iglesia Ni Cristo donated in a day.
So the first question, could you tell us about your charity organisation and who will be receiving today's donation?
I'm a volunteer with Islington Food Bank, and we are raising food for people in crisis in Islington. Last year we fed over 5,000 people, of whom over 1,000 were children. So your donation will very quickly be used to provide 3-day food supplies for people who are in desperate need, many of whom would be really struggling to feed themselves and their children, were it not for donors like yourselves keeping food banks going.
Thank you. Following on to that, I think similar question. So with these acts of giving, or the third question actually, the act of giving gives an obvious positive impact to society. Therefore, these types of works are important. So could you tell us your opinion on the importance of giving?
I think giving is a tremendous expression of people who feel that they are members of a society, that they are not just little individual islands responsible for nobody but themselves, their immediate relatives perhaps, but who actually recognize that we are all interdependent, that the human species is absolutely dependent on each other for its ability to carry on. And were it not for the generosity of people like yourselves, there would be a lot more people in trouble in this country than there are at the moment. It is tremendously important to Islington Food Bank that people of goodwill, like the people in your church, are able to come together and give in this hugely generous way.
Thank you. And the next question, so with these generous food donations given by the members of the Church of Christ, as you mentioned, what impression do you make of the members of the Church of Christ?
Clearly you are very, very socially active people. And this is clearly a church where people go out into the community to give, to do acts that are of charity, that do good to other people. And that is always very heartwarming to meet.
The high-level bridge in Edmonton, Canada is lit with the colors green, white, and red on July 27, 2018. That's Canada time to mark the 104th anniversary of the Iglesia ni Cristo, or Church of Christ. Take a look. Now, the date also marked the church's 50th year in the West. The Edmonton High-Level Bridge is a bridge that spans the North Saskatchewan River in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and it's also located next to the Alberta Legislature building. And that's it for tonight's broadcast. For everyone here on Eagle News International, I would like to greet the Iglesia ni Cristo of 104 years in the worldwide and the 50th year celebrating in the West. Happy anniversary. I'm Alma Angeles, always one with 25. Good night.